Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go to Chicagoland, back to a mile and a half after a bit of an absence of a mile and a half, as Hailie Deegan will be racing here in the Xfinity Series, and obviously myself in the Cup Series. Last season we struggled a bit here, so hopefully we turn that around today. But as we look into Hailie Deegan's Xfinity race, she would start in the 8th position, so one of the better qualifying efforts that she has had recently, but she started on that top line, so she would quickly drop back just a spot or two now as she came out of the second corner, trying to make what she could up on the top, but certainly a tough task to do so on these starts or restarts of a race now in Chicago through turn 3, falling back to the 10th position early on. But by the time it came to the midway point in this race, she would work her way up to second, battling for the lead with Justin Allgaier in the 7 car, and she would actually edge him out going through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaways. They continued to battle though side by side as they went into turn 3, and she would finally go into turn 3 and make the move that she needed to make, and she would pull ahead of the 7 of Justin Allgaier, and Hailie Deegan would not look back. She already has one win this season, and as she came to the final lap, she's looking to get her second as she comes through turns 3 and 4, and no one even close to being able to challenge Hailie Deegan on this incredible performance, domination in this race, as she would come through to get her second Xfinity win in Chicagoland. So great finish for Hailie Deegan as she got to do a burnout. I believe she won her first Truck Series race at this track. I can't remember if she did or not, but certainly a great day for this team as we get another handful of playoff points, adding to her chances as we look down the line into the playoffs, closing in on playoff time. So we don't have much longer. We probably got about 7, 8, maybe 9 races still till the playoffs, so hopefully we can get some more playoff points even before then, so we can set ourselves up even better for this playoff run for Hailie Deegan and myself in the Cup Series, where we only have one win as well, and we're looking to change that today. But I'd tell you right now, just a warning, the AI in the Cup Series at this track is much different pace-wise than the Xfinity Series is, so it's certainly going to be an interesting one. We're at that point in the season. The midway point in the season, or in the regular season, is not my favorite time on the schedule. We're in the races that I really just try to survive. I'm not a huge fan of it, and as we come to qualifying in the Cup Series, we made it to the second session. I already completed my lap. I hit a 29.568. I was trying to set a second lap, but you see McDowell, he gets in the way, and I try to go down to the bottom in turn 3, make contact with him and get sideways, and immediately call the lap there, and unfortunately, we will start in the 20th position here in Chicago.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chicagoland Speedway for today's running of the Overton's 400. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series is stopping in Joliet much earlier than in years past. Up until the beginning of the 2018 season, this venue hosted the first event of the playoffs, but now it closes out the first half of the regular season. Whenever Chicagoland appears on the schedule, this 1.5-mile D-shaped tri-oval is going to be a formidable challenge. Will we see a close finish, or will someone breeze into victory lane here in the Windy City? Let's send it down to the track as the green flag is in the air.
Alright, we're ready to go green in Chicago now as Martin Truex Jr. starts on the pole, Kevin Harvick on the outside front row. Eric Jones gave up his qualifying position for new tires, so he is starting in the back as we move up one position to start in 19th behind the number 11 of Denny Hamlin as we get ready to go green in Chicago, and the green flag is officially out, and we are underway in Chicagoland, back to a mile and a half after a bit of an absence from these tracks as we cross the line behind the 11 of Denny Hamlin, trying to work our way up early on. We're on the bottom line, so we should be able to move our way forwards without an issue early on in this race, but I would say now that we do not have a lot of speed in this car. I have a full setup in the car right now, and it still feels off pace, and I don't usually run a full setup, and even though I am this time, it's still not very good as we come through turns 3 and 4 now through the center of the corner, clearing the 31 of Ryan Newman as we're going to force the 3 wide on the exit of turn 4 down the front straightaway with Denny Hamlin and Casey Kane as we come across the line now. side by side with the 11 of Hamlin. Actually, that was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the top line of that 3 wide as we come through turns 1 and 2 on the back of AJ Allmendinger in the 47, down the back straightaway, moving into the 15th position as we head down into turn 3 with an ambitious move to the inside of the 47 and moving up into the 14th spot now through the center of the corner, clearing Allmendinger as we exit turn 4 to move up even further. So certainly a good start to this race as we come across the line, closing in on the back of the 2 of Keselowski as he's going to go a little defensive into turns 1, so we're just going to stay in line for the moment behind him. And he starts to move his way forward on the inside of a 3 wide as Almirola is going to get down in front of me, and I can't get to his inside as we went down the back straightaway heading into turn 3. By the time we came to lap 4, though, looking to the inside of the 88 of Alex Bowman in the 13th spot as we did get past Kurt Busch, and now we try to take the 12th position away from Alex Bowman as we exit turn 2 side by side with him as we head down the back straightaway into turn 3, trying to look to the inside of Elliott. Hopefully by the time we look to the entrance of the 3rd corner, we do just that as we come to him side by side through the center of turns 3 and 4 now as we exit turn 4, still battling side by side with the 9 of Chase Elliott, trying to use that draft from the 10 of Almirola to get ahead. And by the time we came to the midway point in the first stage, we would get up to the 9th position, so just inside the top 10 in front of the 88 of Alex Bowman. But by the time we got to this point in the stage, I had to start playing defense because, like I said, even with a full setup in this car, the AI are insanely faster than me to where I had to be very defensive. And the only way I could really hang with someone was with the draft. And you see, I got the draft from Kyle Larson, my teammate. And by the time we came to lap 13, I would look to the inside of him going into the 3rd corner, and we would pass and clear Kyle Larson to take the 8th position away as we exited turn 4 down the front straightaway. But they both closed up big time on me as we crossed the line, though. And we come to 2 to go in stage 1 in the 8th position, still now in front of the 11 of Denny Hamlin as we head into turns 3. The white flag for stage 1 is out this time as we just try to hang on for dear life because, like I said, we have no speed in this car as we cut the trial. As we come across the line, the white flag for stage 1 is in the air as we still just defend over the 11 of Denny Hamlin as we come through turns 1 and 2, and our teammate Kyle Larson makes a move to his inside now as they battle side by side as we come down the back straightaway for the final time in stage 1, having to block our teammate Larson down the back straightaway into turn 3 as they continue to battle side by side behind me as we come through turns 3 and 4 for the final time in stage 1. We will exit the 4th turn and we will hang on to the 8th position as we come across the line to get 8th in stage 1 and get 3 points over our teammate Kyle Larson, who got 9th there. So good effort for the Chip Ganassi racing cars as we would have to pit as Truex won the stage, and I would take no tires for this pit stop, but we would take some fuel. But unfortunately I forgot to change the tire wear back to 2X, so we're gonna have to do that in the next race, but it really wouldn't change anything as we get ready to start stage 2. We did lose 2 positions though, so we're gonna have to make those up. And we will be starting behind our teammate, the 42 of Kyle Larson, as the green flag for stage 2 is out and we are once again underway in Chicago. And we come across the line, closing in on the back bumper of our teammate Kyle Larson, giving him a little bit of a shove as we head down into turns 1, just trying to maintain the pace on this outside line, which is very hard to do on restarts in this game. Now as we come through turns 1 and 2, side by side with the 10 of Almirola, you see Byron leaving a little bit of a gap between myself, or between himself and Almirola, but I could not get down there as we come through turns 3 and 4, just riding that top line. And now Byron checks up a little bit, and this is going to allow me to get to the bottom behind the 10 of Almirola as we come through the tribal, now accidentally actually forcing a 3 wide with Almirola and our teammate Kyle Larson as we head down into turns 1 behind Denny Hamlin, and we would push up the track quite a bit, but fortunately we would keep off of any of the other cars as we come through turns 2. Unfortunately, our teammate Kyle Larson, he kind of gets the short end of that situation as he falls quite a ways back behind me now as we go into turn 3, clearing Eric Almirola now for the 9th position as we exit turn 4. So once again moving our way up early on in this second stage as we have to try and run down Denny Hamlin next as we come across the line to complete the second lap in stage 2. And as we come through turns 1 and 2, Bowman now moves into the 10th position behind me as I move up the track a little bit. The tires are a bit worn, so we're certainly going to have to take tires on the next stop. I'm already having to play defense on this early stage in stage 2 over Bowman, so certainly showing just how much faster the AI are than me at this point in the race, and it's certainly not good for myself as we exit turn 4 down the front straightaway to come through across the line to complete that third lap. And by the time we get to the end of lap 4, still in the same position as Hamlin and Logano battle side by side, we would close it up just a little bit on Joey Logano as he is just stuck on that outside line on the outside of Hamlin as I'm continuing to defend over Alex Bowman, but Bowman would get past me and move in up past Logano as well to move into 8th as I fell down obviously to 10th as Chase Elliott starts to close the gap on me as we come through the trioval, closing in on the back of the 22 of Joey Logano as we head down into turns 1 with that draft obviously, which is helping me close in on him as Alex Bowman's going to make a move to the inside of Denny Hamlin as well, and he's going to move into the 7th place as we come down the back straightaway here in Chicago. And by the time we came to lap 11, you see Hamlin drifted back a bit as we get to the inside of him as Logano clears him on the exit of turn 2 as we will come out of turn 2 side by side with the 11 of Hamlin as I try to get the draft from the 22, but unable to do so now as we look into turns 3, still side by side with Denny as we come into the center of the corner. We will clear the 11 for the 9th position, and fortunately, we've really kind of gotten lucky here. We really shouldn't even be in the top 10, but by the time we come to 2 to go, we would get passed once again by the 19 of Daniel Suarez as the cars ahead would just completely drive away from me as the car was falling off so much in this race as we come down the back straightaway. The white flag in stage 2 is coming out this time by as we head down into turn 3, trying to hang on to the final points paying position in stage 2 over Chase Elliott as we come out of turn 4 through the trioval. The white flag in stage 2 is in the air as we come across the line. It is 1 to go in the second stage as we try to hold off the 9 of Elliott as we come down into turns 1 and 2 for the final time in the stage. Through the center of the corner, you see the tires right there on the left top of your screen are completely dead in the 60s, so we're certainly going to have to take tires no matter what, even if the AI don't pit as we come down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time in stage 2. Looking like we will hang on to the position over Elliott as we exit turn 4. We will hang on to 10th as we come through the trioval. Daniel Suarez gets 9th, and we will get the final points paying position in the second stage with a 10th place finish. So certainly a very solid effort, as I was very surprised how good I was hanging on at this point. And your stage winner was Keselowski, and we would have to pit even though the AI aren't pitting. You see how bad the tires are, and I wouldn't stand a chance, and I'm already in a bad position, so we would make a wedge adjustment and take 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel, and unfortunately that would shuffle us all the way back to the back of the field in 40th. And as we get ready to start the final stage, certainly going to have to work our way up as best we can as we have a lot of wheel spin on the restart now as we come through to start, like I said, in 40th for this last stage as we come across the line. It is only a 25 lap stage as we immediately look to the outside of the 96 of DJ Kennington as we head down into turns 1 and 2 as he is able to clear me through the center of the corner now as we exit the second turn, trying to run them back down as we come down the back straightaway. And me going back to 40th because we had to pit is really probably going to show just how much speed is actually in the AI at this racetrack now as we come through turns 3 and 4, passing Kennington and Danica Patrick as we look to the outside of a 3 wide with the 62 of Brendan Gaughan as we come across the line 3 wide with him and Harrison Rhodes as we head down into turns 1, trying to run that top line to my advantage. Certainly the outside didn't work very well earlier, but when we're back with these cars, we can make it work as we come out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, side by side with the 7 of Danica Patrick as we head down in 2 turns 3, still running that top, trying to get to the outside of Ross Chastain now. We do just that through turns 3 and 4 as Kevin Harvick currently leads this race over, I believe, second place of Kyle Busch as we come through across the line, moving in to the 37th position, so certainly not a good start to this final stage as we continue to run that top line around the top of Ross Chastain and looking to the outside of the 37 of Chris Buescher as we exit turn 2, down the back straightaway, certainly running out of time quickly as we certainly are able to run much faster than these guys back here, but it's really going to start evening out shortly now as we barely get into the back of Matt DiBenedetto. Thankfully we did not wreck him as we come out of turn 4 and moving up to 33rd now to the outside of Hemrick, and we would also be able to get past him. By the time we came to lap 58 though, we only got to 28. This is 10 laps to go, and I've been riding by myself for approximately 8-9 laps at this point, and just I could not go anywhere. And this is where I was talking about, you can really see how fast AI are. I'm in a 5-star team with a full custom setup because I needed one in this race, and I'm going full throttle around this track with no handling issues whatsoever, and I'm losing time to 4-star teams. And it's certainly, I'm not sure what 704 did. Maybe they just kind of sped up the AI here for some reason, but it certainly did not work in my favor, as at this point we were just riding around hoping for a caution to maybe help me out at this point in the races. We have just 10 laps to go here in Chicago. Actually, I believe 9 or so laps to go in this race now as we come into turns 3 and 4, riding all by myself, just hoping we get a caution. You see behind me, we have, I think it's Harrison Rhodes, and he is actually at this point maintaining his gap with me, and he's only a 3-star team, so that really shows the AI speed at this track as we cross the line, hit 8 to go. And like I said, just hoping at this point that we get a caution that we desperately need right now. And now as we come down the back straightaway, the leaders in this race were actually pulling away a good half a second a lap on me, and I just was so confused as to why it was happening. We struggled here last time in Chicago last season, so I wasn't too surprised, and by the time it came to lap 64, we were slowly closing in on the 4-star teams ahead of us. Actually, I believe Austin Dillon might be in a 5-star car as we come through the tri-oval with 3 laps to go in this race, really just bringing it home at this point. Still hoping for a caution now as we come down into turns 1 and 2 through the center of the corner, continuing to close up just a little bit here and there on the 3 of Austin Dillon as we come to 2 to go into turns 1 and 2, closing up even more on him, and we would end up getting a caution with 2 laps to go in this race. And Joey Logano is actually the reason for it. I'm not sure, maybe he blew a tire or something, but that would set me up on the bottom line here in NASCAR overtime, and maybe a chance to rebound and get a top 20 out of it if we're aggressive enough. So certainly a second chance at a decent finish as the green flag is out. Overtime is underway in Chicago now as we close up on the back, hopefully, of the 95 here very shortly as we cross the line to the inside of the 3 and the 55 as the 55 is a terrible restart, and we move up into the 25th, and we're going to force the 3 wide with the 95 and the 13, moving up a bunch of positions, moving into 21st, looking to the inside of the 21 to Paul Menard, trying to take 20th away as we get side drafted a little bit from the 13 as we head down into turn 3, looking to the inside of the 21, but he's going to chop my nose, and around we go on the apron up the track into the wall, and we're going to hang on for a brief moment, but it would come down and hit the 37, more contact being made, and we would shoot into the outside wall and get a bunch of damage, and that would end up finishing the race as it would end under caution. And I'm not sure whose fault that was, with myself or Menard. I thought I was there enough to where he wouldn't come down, but unfortunately he did, and clipped my nose and into the apron we went, and up into the wall we went, of course. So let me guys know who you think was at fault there. Probably more towards me, but we had a chance to rebound into a top 20 finish, and I completely blew it and finished worse than what we were even running, unfortunately, as that was just not a good race. That was one of the most frustrating races I've ever run, and we got completely blown away by the AI as their pace is insane at this racetrack, unfortunately, but we would still bring in $712,000, so that was at least a good thing, as we have a message from our mentor.
You know, you've really been in control out there the last few races. No careless driving, no wrecks. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Alright, so good words from Evernham.
You've raced clean these last few races. Great job. I'm impressed.
And nice words from Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as we have a lot of drivers happy with us. They're saying we're doing a really good job, even though we just crashed at Chicago now, as certainly a hit once again to the points position. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. I know we had a rough race, and hopefully we can turn it around in the next episode in Daytona as you see the playoff standings. And thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode in Daytona. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you guys in the next episode.